So how gossip affects the other person and also affects you. That's the topic of the video today. So when you send out gossip, what you are essentially doing is you are putting ripples out into the vibrational universe, and those ripples are going to return back to you. Here's the thing. It does affect that other person. So when you are thinking bad things about that other person, they are going to receive these negative things. They're going to just have them come in and they're going to receive them. Now, what happens when they receive these negative things? They start thinking negative things about you. They might not know why. They might be like, why does this person keep popping into my mind? Like, I don't have anything to do with this person. They're not in my life. Why does that person keeps coming to mind? And as soon as I said that, I just had somebody pop into my mind that I know does that to me. I don't care anymore. They don't pop into my mind anymore because I don't receive it. I don't accept it. And I only send good out back towards them. Now, here's the thing about this. When people are doing this to you and they're sending out those bad things to you, you're going to receive it. These negative things are going to affect you on a subconscious level. But it is them who is going to really have to reap what they have sown. It is going to come back to them. It's going to come back to them tenfold of what it is that they're sending out. So if you're doing that to somebody, do you want what you just said about that person to come back to you tenfold? You don't. You definitely don't. So that's a really good reason to stop. Now, what happens? Let's say that you live in a place and everybody bashes this one particular person. They're always saying negative things about this person. Everybody knows about them. Maybe you live in a small town and so everybody knows about this person. Now, what happens when you have a whole group, a whole huge amount of people that are constantly saying bad things about this one person? They also receive it, and you wonder why they continue to do these horrible things to themselves or these horrible things to other people, because it is subconsciously expected of them, and they are receiving all of this stuff and it makes them feel a certain way, and then it makes them do these things. And so you think, well, why can't they just get it together? They can't get it together because of you. So if you were to change what it is that you're doing and you were to spread that rather than the gossip about them around, then people might jump on board with this, right? And then all of a sudden, oh, look how good that person is doing now, because we have changed the collective consciousness and we have changed it into something more positive. This is how the angels give, right? With a loving thought. So here's the thing about this. You are going to receive back karma from the things that you have sent out. It's coming back to you. How do you correct this? I was shown very explicitly exactly how you can correct this. And of course, you can only do this from a genuine place. There's no way to not do it from a genuine place, because you would know if you're not being genuine when you're doing it. But what you would do if you want to correct this, if now that I've told you this, you're like, oh man, I need to stop doing that. I don't want that to come back to me. I want to correct this. I don't want to make it worse for that person who already has it as bad as they've got it because they're doing these things to themselves. What can you do? First of all, you can take yourself down into a meditative state. And when I say that, all I'm saying is close your eyes and take a few breaths so that you can take away the world that's kind of around you out here, and you can bring your attention inward. You're bringing this into your imagination mind. Now you're going to call that person into that space, and you are going to tell them what you've done, and you're going to apologize to them. Now, once you've apologized, once you've told them what it is that you're done, what you've done, and you've genuinely apologized, like you were genuinely sorry, then it is the simplest thing you could possibly do. All you are doing is then holding the intention of the absolute best outcome for them in their life. Now, this is nothing specific. You're not thinking like, oh, I hope that they end up living in a castle somewhere over in wherever, with all this money. It's nothing specific. You are holding and believing that they will have the absolute best outcome for them, because what's the best outcome for you is probably something totally different for somebody else, right? The things that we like, other people don't like. Plus, that's not what we're doing. We're not giving them something specific, but we are just giving them all that love of this uplifted, thankful feeling of thank you, that they are going to have the absolute best outcome in their life. Thank you, thank you, thank you, that they are going to have the absolute best outcome in their life. And then from then on, every time that you think about them, you're just going to think about them. Yes, thank you that they're going to have the best outcome in their life. They're going to have the best outcome in their life. That is how you correct it. So if you have been on the gossip bandwagon and you've been putting out karma that's going to come back to you and you don't want it back, you can correct this, and you correct it exactly how I told you. Now, if you do this, I want you to comment and I want you to tell me what that feels like once you've done it, because it feels amazing. First of all, it makes you feel really powerful. It makes you feel really good about yourself. It makes you feel really loving. But the best part about it is this takes a lot of personal growth to be able to do this. So you can, even give yourself a pat on the back. Good job that I have moved from this gossip and judgment all the way to the best outcome for that person. And then, so what have you done when you have sent out the intention of the absolute best outcome? What kind of karma have you then created for yourself? The exact same thing. So that other people around you are going to want that for you too. Like, oh, I just want the best outcome for this person. I just want the best outcome for this person. Now, if you do this and immediately, something happens and you're like, screw that, blah, 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 that things don't happen overnight, right? That it takes time for the things that you've manifested to show up in your life. For me, it doesn't take me very long at all. I will sometimes see things within seconds, within minutes, within hours, typically within a day or two. If you're really fast at manifesting, you're going to notice how much faster you get at manifesting just from stopping that judgment and that criticism. Because what happens when you're doing that is you are stopping the flow of life. The flow of life is coming into you and you're saying, oh, I don't like that. I want to judge that. And any time that you go, you're immediately stopping the flow of the divine life that could be flowing through your body at every single second. Why would you want to stop the flow of life? So when something comes in and it's negative and you feel like, oh, I could talk about this person or I could talk about that, it's insecurity in yourself. First of all, it has nothing to do with that person. But I want you to think of this from a more heavenly standpoint. What would Jesus do if, somebody was, let's say that they're a drug addict and they've got all these problems and they're not taking care of people how they should be taking care of people? Did Jesus just sit there and bash them and be like, look at you, you're a lost cause, this thing is going on and that thing is going on, and sat there and bashed everybody with his disciples while they're sitting around eating supper? Like, that didn't happen, right? He was teaching people, you reap as you sow, and he was telling them this over and over and over. They weren't really getting it because this was a couple thousand years ago and people were very selfish back then. It was just a normal thing to look out for yourself and for nobody else. But he was teaching about reaping and sowing, and he was saying, you reap what you sow, what you put out, you get back. And they weren't getting it. But nonetheless, he was teaching and he was leading by example. That he wasn't sitting there casting judgments, and the people who would normally have judgments cast on them, he was like, these people are my friends. Because he knew that everything that you are witnessing in your world is a reflection of yourself. So when he saw these people who were struggling, he had compassion for them, not judgment. He had compassion because he knew that they weren't just struggling because they wanted to struggle and they were fuck-ups. He knew that. He knew that they had been through something, that they were learning lessons, and that the only way that, they could be helped was to receive more love. Because has anybody ever judged you and then it helped you in some way? No. But if people love you and they say, oh, you're really good at this, all of a sudden you're like, oh, I'm really good at that. And then you want to be even better at that thing than you are already at. We thrive off of love. So when we can spread that love throughout the world, good things are going to happen for other people, but also good things are going to happen for us. because we're spreading the goodness throughout the world. And as we spread that goodness throughout the world, we're not stopping the flow of life. We're going with the flow of life. So that's my video for today. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like and comment and subscribe to my channel. I love you guys, and I love all of you who watch all my videos. That's so great. And if you share these videos with other people, I super appreciate that. Thank you guys. Thank you all. I love you. I love every single one of you, and I hope that you have the most amazing and heavenly day. I'm going to.